quick bonus video tied to our CI/CD pipeline series, and it focuses on container user identity. It's common to see images running as root with full administrative access. However, when a container runs at root, a bad actor who gains access to the shell can rewrite files, tamper with configurations, install malicious code, and more. So by running the container as a non-root user instead, we can restrict those permissions and dramatically shrink what an attacker can do. So this applies whether you're pulling images from Docker Hub or creating your own Docker files locally. So what we're going to do here in this video is just a quick demonstration of a container that is secure and one that is not secure using a non-root user. So what we're going to do here first is do an HTML file, a very simple, basic HTML file. It's going to display a message like hello world. Whoops, it'll be a message like hello world. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we're just going to save this. And then what we're going to do next is create a Docker file, a very simple Docker file. We're going to use the Nginx Alpine image. And then we're going to copy the index.html file into the proper directory for the Nginx HTML file. Okay, looks good. And we're going to expose that on port 80. Okay, so now that we have that created, we're going to go ahead and run the docker build command. We're going to call it insecure Nginx, and we're going to go ahead and build it. Okay, now that it's finished being built, we can go to Docker images. There's our image, and then we can do Docker run in detached mode, port 8080, and we're going to use the name test or test root, and we're going to reference the insecure image. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this Docker run command. We're going to go ahead and check out port 80 in just a moment. Okay, there's our app. It's running. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Now what we're going to do next is we're actually going to try to exec into the container, and we're going to see what accesses we have. So we're going to exec into test root into the shell. All right, so now we're inside the container, and what we're going to do first is run whoami, and as you can see right off the bat, we're running as root. 0 has the greatest amount of permissions for the user and the group, and what we're going to do is see if we can navigate to the location of the index file. So I'm going to see here if I can just cd into the user share Nginx HTML. Okay, and from there I should see the index file. There it is. So what we're going to do next here is we're going to go ahead and we're going to try to change the message. So we're going to start off with another index file. This time we're going to use a different message. Okay, and we're going to make sure that we echo that into the index file. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and exit this. Well, first we're going to make sure our changes took. Okay, great. Now we can exit the container and we can do a restart. So we can just do docker restart the container, test root. Okay, cool. So if we have done this correctly and we go back to our port, actually we can just refresh. There we go. And as you can see, we were able to access the container, change the index.html file, and have it say whatever we want to. So that is not an ideal situation, as you can imagine. Okay, so one of the reasons why we changed to a non-root user is to prevent that access. Okay, so there's a couple things we're going to do here next. Let's go ahead and go to the Docker file. We're going to add some things here. So first of all, Nginx actually has an image that's actually a lot more secure. It's called the Nginx unprivileged image. It's actually an official image from Docker Hub. So I'll show you guys in just a second. This is actually an official image that's a bit more secure. It runs as non-root, as an unprivileged user. Okay, so this will actually give us a image with much less permissions, which is what we want. So I'm actually going to go ahead and replace the image that we had with a new one. And then in addition to that, what we're going to do is add another line of code that represents a non-root user. Okay, so we're going to use 1001. Okay, Now, we were running the Nginx on port 80, but that one's being occupied right now. So we're going to use 8080. We'll use 8080 in our Docker run command as well. Okay, so we made some notable changes here, and we're going to see how they affect us going forward. So I'm going to go ahead and save what we've done so far. And what we're going to do is do another Docker build, and we're going to call this one secure Nginx. Okay, so Docker build, secure Nginx, let that one build. Then we'll run it on a different port. Okay, great. Let's just quickly do Docker images. Okay, good. We have secure and insecure. Okay, so now we're going to do Docker run detached mode 8080 this time. We're going to name it secure test secure, and it's going to reference the secure Nginx image. Okay, let's make sure I got everything spelled right. Secure Nginx looks good. Oh, looks like we have an issue here. Oh, name is spelled wrong. Okay. Oops, still spelled wrong. Got an extra E in there. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go to 8080. Okay, we've got it running. Okay, so let's try to do pretty much what we did last time. Okay, so we've got a running container. We're going to try to run docker exec it, and we're going to go into test secure. Okay, and we're going to try to access the shell. So first things first, I'm going to do who am I. As you can see, we're no longer as root. So if I were to, let's go ahead and go back into that same directory. There's our index file, and it says hello world. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to echo a different phrase. Okay. And I cannot create the index file. Permission has been denied. Okay. So user 1001 does not own the web root. It can't edit files. It can't install packages. So basically, I'm locked out of making any meaningful changes. Okay. So this is important because, as you'll see when we build our CI/CD pipeline, there's scanning tools like Trivy and Sneak and that can actually look for vulnerabilities, but they're not able to fix Docker files, especially when you have them running as a root. Whether the image comes from Docker Hub or you're building it locally, the rule remains the same. You do not want to run root unless you truly need it to be. Okay, so this is something that you're going to want to keep in mind whenever you're securing containers. Ideally, if this container is to run on a Kubernetes cluster, you want to have a policy in place that doesn't allow for privileged containers to run or exist at all. So these are all things that you want to keep in mind. But this is a bonus here, and we're going to go back to our series in the next video.